Hey y'all, it's Brittany with Redeemable Junk, and I'm here today to try to do a process video. I had some members of a group requesting a process video on how I do my journals. So the next journal I'm going to be doing is a vanilla envelope journal, sort of like this one. This is a vanilla envelope cover. So today we're going to start on the cover, and I've already started on it, and then I thought, oh my goodness, I should have started a process video. So what I start with is a vanilla envelope, and the vanilla envelope is already creased in the middle, so you can either make your spine bigger by scoring it yourself, larger, or you can just keep it where it's at in the center. This last one I did, I just kept it where it was at, where it was already scored, and I just score it on both sides. And then I measure, let me make sure that I'm certain, 6 1/4 from the center over, and 9 down, or is it 9 1/2 actually? Yeah, 9 1/2 down. So I would just measure 9 1/2 down, and I would do the same to the other side, 6 1/4. 9 1/2 down. Then I'm going to go cut it. Like I said, I started this before I started the video, and I thought I need to do a process video. So I cut it. And you can't see now because this is already covered, but it's just the vanilla envelope. And what I decided to go with, and what I usually do before I ever start my journal, is I decide how I'm going to decorate it. So I had this is from my own printable that I made. I decided to use it on the cover of this. So what I would have done was I would have laid this fabric down, not glued it down, just laid it down. I cut this. I haven't distressed anything yet, but I would just lay it down to give me an idea of how it would look. Before I ever glue anything down, that's what I do. And what I decided to go with on this was this look right there. So since I decided I knew what I wanted for my cover, I'm not going to make this process video forever long because really I don't like videos like that, so I'm a quickie. So since I decided I wanted to use this cover, what I did was I cut me a piece of fabric. I got me some Fabri-Tac. When I cut the fabric, it was a square. I come up to the corners, and I cut the corners like that on each corner, sideways. And then I just folded over with Fabri-Tac on the inside. I went ahead and got me a piece of Tyvek from a United States Postal Service envelope, and I glued it down. So now, I need to decide what I want to do on the inside cover. And that I haven't decided yet. So I'm going to pause this, and I'll be back once I decide. Okay, right now what I'm trying to do is decide which inside cover I want. I usually go with less busy inside covers. That's just how I usually do it. But I really like this. And it would brighten it up a bit. But I just think this matches better and flows better. Choices, choices. Let's see. My inside. I think I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to print one more off, and I'll be right back. So what I've done is I've printed 2 of these because I'm going to need 2 of them because obviously it won't go across the long ways. So you make sure your paper's the right way you want it. I'm going to try to do this without getting my big head in shot. Which is hard to do because I usually lean all over it and make sure it's all very, very straight and right. And what I'm going to do is mark it where I need to cut it. Now I'm going to do the same thing over here. Make sure it's lined up real well. I'm going to go cut these real fast. I would pause it, but this is going to be pretty quick. As long as I can find my cut lines. Okay. So I got that done. Sure I cut them right. That one needs a little bit more off of it. I think they both do. I'm going to trim just a hair off of these. And since you have the fabric overlapping or overcoming, you don't need it to be perfectly straight because, or perfectly butted up to the end, because the fabric will help hide any indiscretions. So this is very good. So next what I do is I get my handy dandy big book. See if you guys can see that. And what I'm going to do, I'm get my Fabri-Tac out. I'm going to, oh, hold on. Which side do I want to do first? I want to do the front first. So I put my Fabri-Tac. You can glue it down however you want. This is just how I do it. And something I thought about is I usually don't use fabric on these, so I'm hoping this is going to sturdy it up enough. And then what I do is I get my glue stick and I just smooth it all out with it. What I was saying was I hope this isn't real flimsy. I didn't think about that. If so, I would have put an extra piece of cardstock on the front before putting the fabric down. I did that wrong. I wanted that on the front, so we'll just put this over here. I'm sure they both are the same. And I'm going to sew this down also, so it don't have to be real good and glued down, but I just like my stuff real sturdy to know that it's going to hold up, especially if I plan on selling it. I want to make sure that my customer gets something that's going to last them, you know, as long as it's supposed to. So it's very quiet at my house today. All of my kiddos are gone, surprisingly. It's so crazy. That hardly ever happens. And something I noticed over here is, that's alright, a little bit of my vanilla envelope is showing. I don't really like that, but that's okay. Let me get my dirty bone folder. We're gonna push this down. It has glue. See my hands? Aren't they horrible? I get glue all over them. If anybody knows a trick on how to be less messy when you use Fabri-Tac, I could really use some advice. So what we're going to do is we're going to let that sit there for about a minute or so. If you're impatient like me, you're going to test the waters, but you probably should just let it sit there and let it bond to the surface before you fold it. And then what I would do is I would fold it. See, you do it too early, you're going to get that, and you don't want that. So be patient, and then you're going to fold it over, and then you can go sew it. So I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to go, what my plan is to zigzag sew all around the edges, and then we'll come back and decorate it. Okay, we're back. So now this is what we have. I'm going to trim my strings real quick from sewing. Then we're ready to decorate. See, it did bind up a little bit. Can you see that? That's always what I tried to avoid, but no matter how hard I try, I don't know why, it just does that. Maybe if I don't know. It's okay though. When you decorate it, you can't even tell. I wasn't thinking whenever. Yeah, I was. Okay. So this is the front. So now we get to set her aside for a minute. And I made this. It says journal on the bottom of it. I'm not really... Hopefully you can still see the word after I distress it. Yeah, you can. Just won't distress it real heavy right there. I wish I would have made it a little bit larger, but it is what it is. We got our hymnal page. Distress it. And I have a piece of lace that I need to sew a button onto, so I will do that off camera to save on time. But we'll start getting her all set up. It's cute. And then I have this little lock and key. Don't look at my dirty nails, they're horrible. I paint for a living and make signs. And my nails, I can never keep them looking good hardly, but I try. Anyways, I have this little lock thing I was really wanting to put on there. I thought it added some interest to it. I get my fabric scissors, figure out how long I want this to be, and I'm thinking probably as long as the music sheet. Like that. It is going to bunch up. I wasn't expecting that. I'm probably going to have to sew that down too. That's okay. We'll figure it all out. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down first. I think I'm gonna sew around it. Tell you, my work area is such a mess. I've been trying to talk my husband into redoing it for me and buying me some cabinets underneath and on top and building me a nice workspace in here. Of course, that's going to cost money. So, it's not cheap. But I really would like to have it done. Keep telling him he needs to do it for me. So let me think here if I should sew around this. And what I think if I do that, it's going to kind of stink because it's going to have sew marks in here. But what I was thinking was we could just put a big pocket in there to cover that up. So that was my thought process. Or we could just sew it right there without sewing it to this and then glue it down. I just like my stuff on my cover to be sewn down real well. That stinks. Right where that little fold is I wonder if I can make it go the other way. There we go. I think I'm going to sew this button on real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, this is what I've decided. I sewed around that. Took me a while. I'm pretty indecisive. I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to try to glue all this stuff down. I just kind of decide on this lace down here if I liked it or not. And I tried all these different laces to see if they looked better. And I just kept coming back to this. So this is what we're going to go with. I'm going to glue all this down with my Fabri-Tac. And then we'll decide if I want to sew it on or not. I think I want that down a little further, about right there. So, we're going to get this nice and glued up. Hopefully it sticks down really well. I see other junk journalers who glue metal pieces on with Fabri-Tac. I don't understand how it stays on, but we're going to try it and see. Does that look good and centered? Right there. Alrighty. Now we're going to glue this down. I already sewed the little button on. Hopefully this works, because I didn't think about sewing with that button there. Oh well. Now we're going to try to glue this down. See how well it works. See if what all these junk journalers on YouTube say is true. So we're going to let all that dry, and I'll be back. Okay, and of course now I'm trying to decide if I want to add something on the side or not. I drive myself crazy sometimes. I know people say less is more, but I just feel like it needs something else. Man, I wish I could go live. I need some more followers, because if I could go live, then I could just ask you guys live what you guys think. And you could tell me, and we could do it. So what do y'all think? Yes or no? I'm kind of thinking yes. I'm thinking it just gives it a little bit of something else, but I don't want to take away from the center point. I don't think it does. You know what? I think we're going to do this. I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to try this. I'll be right back. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some glue from a glue stick on here just to hold it in place so we can sew it. If you don't have a sewing machine, you're going to want to use Fabri-Tac. The only issue is I'm afraid Fabri-Tac might come through the fabric and show through. I don't want a whole lot on there. I think that's cute. It's just I usually like if one thing's on one side, I have to have it on the other. I'm just a little weird like that, but I think I like it. I think we're going to keep it. And I'm going to sew it on, I think. So I'll be right back. Okay, so there she is. She's finished. I still got to put the book corners on, but I like to wait till the very end to do that in case I have something that's long on the inside and to cover it up. So I think she turned out pretty good. I like it. I'm happy with it. I think it's cute. I like how I did the side thing. I'm sure it would look a lot better if I was on live and y'all could help me, but I'm not, so anyways, that's her. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. The next one maybe we can do is decorating it. So I just thought I'll start with this and see how it goes. So y'all have a wonderful day.